Hey everyone, we got to talk about the Ottawa Senators and Calgary Flames trade rumors out there right now. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. Hit that like button, notification bell, and definitely stay till the end of the video because I want your guys' thoughts in the comments. But this was a little piece from David Pagnotta's article, and on the fourth period, he talks about how the Sens are looking for some high character players, some veteran pieces, kind of stuff we already heard from Steos, but specifically, this is brought up again, that the Sens then with Dorian had expressed interest in Mackenzie Weegar from the Calgary Flames, but that the current management group with the Sens would also have interest in Weegar. So we have to have that conversation again because I think there's been also interest from Weegar's side. I think before he was traded to Calgary, I think that scenario of him going to Ottawa was of interest. Obviously, he ended up in Calgary, but I think this could be a fit either now or some point in the future, depending on where the Calgary Flames are going to try to go, whether it's rebuild, retool, or just try to make the playoffs. We'll see. But there's been a lot of conversations about a trade with Thomas Chabot. So again, this is just fans putting it out there on Cap Friendly, but this was one example of the Sens selling at the deadline potentially and bringing in an experienced guy like a Boone Jenner. So you trade guys like Kubalik, Joseph, Chabot. You bring in guys for now and the future. So Weegar's older. That's the only thing. Like Chabot's 26. Weegar's pushing 30, if not 30. I think it's at 30. So I think when you're talking about Thomas Chabot, you're talking about a guy that hasn't stayed healthy at times, has probably not, I would say, fulfilled the number one elite defenseman that the Sens have wanted. So $8 million a piece every year is a tough pill to swallow. But again, Weegar's at like what, 6.25 per year. So that's another conversation in itself. But my guy Audie James on Twitter, I took a couple screenshots here because I liked his thread. Go check out Audie James on Twitter, give him a follow. He talked about a lot of scenarios, and him as a Flames fan, he thought that this would be a lose-lose trade. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with him, but I think this could be a lose-lose trade depending on the direction of the team. So if the Sens are trying to go back into the playoff picture and try to fix this young core with more veteran pieces, and a guy like Weegar could help that, especially like bringing in another right shot guy, right? Because you have right now Chabot, Chikrin, Sanderson, all left shot guys. So I think bringing in Weegar, who has the versatility of playing both sides, could definitely benefit Ottawa. And then Calgary, I think this trade benefits them if they're trying to get younger and build towards more of the future. If you trade for a guy like Thomas Chabot, in Calgary's perspective, you're getting 4 years younger all of a sudden. You're going from Weegar to a 26-year-old Chabot that if you're not even competing for 3 more years, Chabot would be 29. That's a good place to have a defenseman like that. So there was a few scenarios. I had this maybe being a bigger blockbuster in terms of a 2-for-2 or 3-for-3. I'm sure Calgary would look at a guy like Drake Batherson and go, okay, no trade restrictions with this guy. We could trade for Drake Batherson, get a lot of production here, and maybe convince Ottawa to do this deal because they're getting a better experienced goalie in Jacob Markstrom maybe. I'm just giving an example. Or maybe a more experienced defenseman in Mackenzie Weegar, and we'd maybe throw in a draft pick or two. I think the Sens immediately would clear a lot of cap with Batherson and Chabot off the books. You're talking basically $13 million combined, and maybe Calgary throws in guys that have 1 year left on their deal, right? Maybe it's a Shillington. Maybe Ottawa really pays up and brings in an Elias Lindholm, decides if they want to extend him after. They could say the same for a couple other guys. So I'm really looking at Ottawa and Calgary. Yes, this could be a lose-lose, but quickly in terms of how these teams want to progress in the next year or so, I think there's fits on both these teams. It's just, I think it depends on how this trade is constructed. Sure, we could have a great old grand time on this video and go Chabot for Weegar, 1-for-1, make it happen. But I think there might be some more complexity to this deal if it does happen. But at the same time, I don't think it's gross, Calgary Flames. I know Audie and other Flames fans were saying Weegar for Chabot is a little gross. Just in terms of Chabot injury issues, the contract length, the contract cap hit, $8 million per year. But the cap's going up. Again, Chabot is 26. I've just been expecting Chabot like in the last year or so to really break out because I always preach that defensemen, give them till they're 24, give them till they're 25 till you truly judge them. I only judge a defenseman from the age of like 25 to 29 on if he is that elite defenseman. And I think Chabot could get there. I mean, he just turned 26. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he is 26. And I think we're going to see progression if he can stay healthy. That's the key part, and key part for a lot of players. If Chabot can stay healthy, I have trust he can become something. So Calgary, you're getting younger in that scenario, and I think it would bring in some much-needed veterans from Ottawa. So that's the benefit for both teams. Calgary gets younger, looks more into the longer term, where Ottawa blends some veteran presence some playoff experience with their younger core. So let me know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification, all that good stuff. And just something else I wanted to pop up here, maybe another video topic for another day. Hey, keep an eye on the content, guys. Notification bell on. Let's talk soon. Cheers.